While doing therapy and having success in getting rid of a lot of my obsessions, I seem to be having a lack of motivation daily and feeling down despite the success. Is this common? Sure, it can be common. I mean, sometimes it's hard for people to give up OCD, and that sounds weird maybe to some of you who that's your desire, but if you're used to OCD and you're used to living that way, it can be a little scary to not have that, right? It can be a little scary to not have OCD anymore because you're so used to using it as kind of your guidepost through life. You're used to obsessing about things. You're used to doing compulsions. To lose those is to lose something that's familiar and frankly maybe comfortable in some ways because you are just so used to it. So yeah, it can be rough not having OCD anymore. And it can be really great to have the success. And yet sometimes also people, when they're going through OCD treatment, might feel down because now they're starting to see a glimpse of what life might be like without OCD. And they're kind of in mourning over all of the life that they've lost to OCD. And that can be really difficult for people to deal with as well, as they sit there and kind of ponder, I did all of this stuff for my OCD. I did everything that it wanted me to do. I listened to it so very much and so very long and so very often. And I gave it everything that it asked. And what did it do for me? Maybe that's another question for all of you to ponder this week. What has OCD done for you? And if it really hasn't done anything for you, which I'm going to bet is going to be the answer for most of you, if it really hasn't done anything for any of you, well, why continue to do its bidding? Why continue to give it another chance? I have used the example lately of, and I've used it on here, I think, in the past too, but every time that Charlie Brown ran up to the football, right before he kicked it, Lucy picked up the football and Charlie Brown went flying through the air. In an interview with Charles Schultz, he said, no matter what, Lucy was never going to leave the football down for Charlie Brown to kick. She was always, no matter what, she was always going to lift the football up. Those of you with OCD are Charlie Brown. And you're hoping this time you're going to run at the football and it's going to stay down and you're going to kick it and you're finally going to get the relief that you want. But your OCD is Lucy. And Lucy's going to pick up that football every single time you go to kick it to get the relief that you want. And you go just flying, sputtering through the air, and you land on your back. And you just recognize that once again, you have been had. You have been had by your OCD one more time. But then your OCD says to you, okay, this time it didn't happen, but what if next time? What if that's really the time? Next time. So my challenge to you, when are you going to stop running after the football?